a creepy series of events that began in the early days of parenthood between Cheryl Lynn Howard and her partner unfolded with their family dog and newborn. The strange things the dog did left them baffled at first, but what they eventually learned would shock them to their core. Howard and Cheryl had been together for almost a decade when the life-changing news came. He was going to be a dad. Getting to this point hadn't been easy for them. After deciding to start a family a few years earlier, they faced challenges that left Cheryl heartbroken at the thought she might not be able to have children. Seeing his wife struggle emotionally, Howard wanted to lift her spirits. One day, he surprised her with a loving and playful dog. The moment Cheryl laid eyes on the pup, she loved him and named him Mittens. She gave her heart to taking care of and training him, and he quickly became a beloved member of their family. Even as much as they loved Mittens, Howard and Cheryl never lost hope for parenthood. Life went on, and the couple enjoyed days with Mittens, who brought them endless love and comfort. One day, Howard noticed that something was different with their fur baby. First, Mittens had started to follow Cheryl everywhere and whine when she was out of his sight, even briefly. At first, Howard thought the dog might be sick, but Mittens seemed perfectly fine otherwise. It got even stranger. The possessive attitude toward Cheryl from Mittens, who always loved snuggling with them both, would actually growl at Howard if he tried sitting too close to her. Confused by Mittens' behavior, Cheryl began to wonder if there might be another explanation. The dog's increased protectiveness, especially in regard to Howard showing affection, made her think of a possibility she scarcely dared to believe. Slipping away to the bathroom, Cheryl decided to take a pregnancy test. 20 minutes later, she emerged, tears streaming down her face. At this, Howard ran to her side in a concerned manner and was shocked with joy when he saw the positive result of pregnancy in her hand. Overjoyed, the two shared a sobbing embrace, their relief and excitement mingling in their tears. Howard did not forget to thank Mittens for his extraordinary loyalty and rewarded him with all treats for being such a great and perceptive companion. Months later, after what felt like the longest wait of their lives, Cheryl gave birth to a healthy, beautiful baby girl. They named her Sky, inspired by the bright blue of Mittens' eyes. When Cheryl returned home from the hospital, she was greeted by her loving husband and their loyal dog, both ready to welcome Sky into the family. Happily, they had even more support. Cheryl's best friend Wanda, who had been a big part of their lives since the beginning of their relationship, stepped up as Auntie Wanda to little Sky. Wanda had been with Cheryl and Howard through thick and thin, helping them find their home, being a bridesmaid at their wedding, and now helping out in this new chapter. With Sky's arrival, the family felt complete, surrounded by love, friendship, and a dog who had proved to be much more than just a pet. Oddly enough, even after Sky was born, Mittens showed no signs of calming down. The dog remained fiercely protective, refusing to leave Cheryl or Sky's side. On the baby's first night home, Mittens frantically insisted on staying near her, refusing to be separated. Cheryl and Howard found the behavior puzzling. They had assumed Mittens would relax once the baby arrived, but instead, his agitation only seemed to increase. Exhausted from adjusting to life with a newborn, the couple let Mittens' behavior slide for a few nights, figuring the whole household needed time to settle into a new rhythm. But as days turned into a week, Howard began to grow concerned. Mittens had adopted a rigid routine, guarding Sky's crib at night and refusing to go on walks unless Cheryl and the baby joined him. By the time Sky was 2 months old, Howard and Cheryl were at their wits' end. They loved Mittens and couldn't envision their family without him, but his behavior was becoming ever more challenging to handle. They worried that Sky was in danger, and they felt torn between their love for their dog and their concern for their growing family. Howard, not wanting Cheryl to burn out, devised a plan to give her some well-deserved rest. He asked Wanda, Cheryl's best friend, to babysit for an evening while he planned a surprise dinner date with his wife. Cheryl was very apprehensive about leaving Sky, but, thankful for the thought, agreed. As she turned Sky over to Wanda that night, Cheryl was a little nervous, but Mittens was in an altogether different league of distress. He barked and howled and raised a ruckus as Howard and Cheryl walked out the door. Cheryl almost called off the evening and stayed home, but took a deep breath and left, hoping he would eventually settle down. They passed the rare night out discussing everything from Mitten's weird behavior to Howard's job as a government worker. Cheryl relished the opportunity to discuss something other than baby care and welcomed the little break from the bedlam of new parenthood. Unfortunately, their evening was cut short when Wanda called midway through dinner. Mittens, she explained, had become uncontrollable. He had tried to bite her when she attempted to put him in his crate and was now inconsolable. Concerned, Howard and Cheryl rushed home. When they arrived, Skye was fast asleep in her crib, and Wanda was sitting in the living room, shaken but unharmed. They apologized profusely to their friend and made sure she was okay before seeing her off. Once Wanda left, Cheryl turned her attention to Mittens, who was acting weirdly. The moment the front door closed, his frantic energy disappeared. Howard opened the crate, and the couple stood in silence as Mittens calmly trotted out and headed straight for Skye's room, as if nothing had happened. Confused and a little disturbed, Cheryl and Howard exchanged a glance. Something about Mittens didn't quite add up, and they couldn't get rid of the feeling that their loyal dog was trying to tell them something. They retired to bed, resolving that they could better understand the strange behavior of Mittens with fresh minds in the morning. But Howard had a wake-up moment. The realization that he had fitted security cameras around the house some months ago. He couldn't wait to get answers and hastened to his computer to play back the footage from the night before. What Howard found left him in a daze. The recordings from the previous night had been deleted. Confused, he went through older archives and observed a chilling pattern footage from Skye's room was missing almost every night since her birth. Howard felt a wave of unease as he processed the implications. Determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, Howard had set up a hidden camera in Skye's room, backing up the recordings to a separate, secure system. He didn't want to alarm Cheryl just yet, so he kept his plan to himself until he had something concrete. The next morning, Howard looked at the footage of the hidden camera and immediately ran to Cheryl. As she watched, her face turned pale and tears streamed down her cheeks. She didn't waste any time and called the police right away. What they had seen on the video was beyond anything they could have imagined. Someone was breaking into their house at night. The footage revealed a person climbing in and out of the window in Skye's room. Howard and Cheryl were horrified at the thought of a stranger sneaking into their baby's nursery. Their horror deepened when the police identified the intruder. It was Wanda. As the investigation unfolded, the shocking truth emerged. Wanda wasn't just a close friend, she was a foreign intelligence agent. Her mission had been to monitor Howard, leveraging his position in government security. Over nearly a decade, she had carefully infiltrated their lives, first befriending the couple and later helping them find a house with a hidden compartment built into it. Behind one wall in Skye's room, the police found a hidden space. Inside was a treasure trove of evidence, surveillance equipment, notes regarding Howard's work, and long-range communication tools. They found a safe containing cash, passports, and other supplies for a quick getaway. Despite an intensive manhunt, Wanda disappeared, leaving behind a trail of betrayal. Howard and Cheryl were devastated, grappling with the knowledge that someone they trusted implicitly had endangered their family. While Wanda had likely never intended to harm Skye, the violation of their trust was unforgivable. In it all, Mittens became the hero. The protective instincts of the loyal dog kept Skye safe, alerting Howard and Cheryl to danger they could not see. From that day forward, Mittens was treated as part of the inner circle of the family for her unfailing loyalty and watchfulness. Unbelievable. Has it ever happened to you that you trusted someone with your kids and then felt they didn't deserve that trust? Leave your stories in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.